This is an excerpt from a chapter from a book-length situation. Okay. As soon as dinner is over, around 6 or so, my mother always cooks dinner early on holidays and Sundays. I cut out of there. As I'm leaving, Mom's new church friends from Calvary Baptist arrive. Dave, Valerie, and Bob, and whomever else. I find my mother's church friend shy, cheeriness unnerving. Dad's not too keen on the fact that Mom's... Oh, I'm sorry. What you need to know... sorry, I'm nervous. Is that the narrator is 17, it's 1994, and her dad's religious and crazy. Okay. So Dad's not too keen on the fact that Mom's recently started going to Calvary on her own, but she seems happy. Although the church is Baptist, it's mostly a white congregation, a curiosity to me as a kid who grew up in churches where the only white person was my mother. My mom took me to Calvary once. It's the kind of mellow church where people sing praise songs and the preacher doesn't yell or bang on the pulpit, and the congregation doesn't yell either, not even amen. The most worked up they get is when they lift their hands up and close their eyes during the rendition of Lord, I Lift My Name on High. I shoot past them on the porch, waving my simultaneous hellos and goodbyes as my best friend Nikki pulls up in her souped-up Celica. I run down the long driveway across the underwatered mound of grass that is our front yard. The crisp autumn wind is electric, whipping through the pine needles and palm fronds alike. A handful of houses on Casa Grande already have Christmas lights strung along their roof pitches and trellises, their reds, blues, greens, and yellows twinkling in the night. I feel an anonymous excitement charging through me. Tonight is the night. What night? I'm not sure, just the night. I'm going out on a Thanksgiving night. This is unprecedented. I have a newfound freedom these days. I have a car, albeit a junky Volkswagen Bug that I have to push start. I have friends with cars, and I recently discovered the love of my life, weed. I open the heavy metal door and scoot into the bucket seat. Nikki immediately hands me a joint, which I promptly spark with a lighter from the pocket of my green windbreaker, taking a huge toke. It's that chronic, Nikki boasts. It's all about the chronic these days, especially since Dr. Dre released the Chronic album. I smile in approval, trying to hold the smoke in as long as possible. Wafts of it oozing out of my nostrils as I let out a high-pitched sneeze of a cough, the universal indicator that you're about to get really high. We head out to God knows where to do God knows what, not much of anything, and yet all that matters to me. I'm out of the house and high, so things are all good, a term people recently started using on account of that MC Hammer song. What up, Booby? All my friends call me Booby, a childhood nickname that never went away. Nothing, glad to be out. My whole family's in there. My dad keeps yelling about Jesus with my crazy-ass uncle. Nikki pops Outcast Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funk and Music into the tape deck and bumps it in her newly installed 6x9s all the way from the 210 to the 134 down Figueroa and into Highland Park. We decide to stop by a video store on Figueroa before stopping by Nikki's dad's house. Nikki parks around the corner on a side street and goes inside while I stay in the car, carefully crumbling herb for another joint. I sit in the passenger seat in complete darkness. No street lights to speak of, the crackle of the leather seat. With my every slight gesture is the only sound. Every drop of my focus is on the task at hand. I take out the zigzag, creasing it at just the right spot to hold the weed in place before it's rolled. I hear a slight bustle up the street, pause for a moment, squint in the general direction of the passing stir, but see only pitch blackness. I ignore a sinking feeling and go back to sprinkling the weed into the folded zigzag. Some of it spills onto the car mat, and I bend down to scrounge every last crumb. As I come up, glass is shattering all over me. I scream, I crouch, holding up my arm to protect my face. On the other side of the jacket passenger window is a hammer. Behind the hammer is a black hooded bomber jacket. There are two of them actually, two empty hoods. I can hear them, I can detect their youth, their Latino-ness, but I can't see their faces. Bitch, give us your money. Seemingly disembodied hands and arms are reaching inside the car every which way, groping in the air, groping at my dress and between my legs. Not too